Hey everybody, so wanted to do an update, obviously in lieu of dragging you all into a meeting. I know everyone's busy and I want to respect your time and give you as much free time as I possibly can. So just a few major updates. Well, first of all, I hope that you all had a wonderful break. Everyone got to spend some time relaxing, maybe with their families, or just and being able to be by yourself and have some calmness, not at crazy school and all that good stuff. And I hope your transition as we've come back into the new quarter and the new semester has been good. I know that we were able to get some students out of classes that really it wasn't a good fit, and unfortunately, it just wasn't every student that I would like. I actually spoke with Mr. Valkovic with this, and he said that it's fine. The caveat is that there has to be room for the student, and that was really the issue. Was is there another class during that time slot that they could take? And we couldn't put them in it had to be an elective essentially. Couldn't be a core class because you can't really put a kid just in the back half of the year in a core class. And there's only so many electives. So unfortunately, we were able to get, some of the kids out of the class that I would have liked to. I really personally, as a Cambridge coordinator and as a teacher, don't want kids sitting in a Cambridge class all year and failing. It's a detriment to them. It's a detriment to you as the teacher. It's a detriment to the student's GPA and all that kind of thing. So one thing I would also really try to do next year is be more hands-on and actually approving the choices of students going into the classes. I haven't done that in the past. I mean, last year was my first year and I wasn't involved in it at all. Coming out of the previous school year, and then last February, I had minimal engagement in it, and I think that it just didn't go quite as well as I would have liked. I also just want to reinstill, keeping up the rigor. Really, in all honesty, you do not have to accept late work at all. That's a policy, Broward County Schools has. I know that the typical policy is that the late work, they can take up to late 2 class periods, but you're not beholden to that. And I would say maybe you don't feel like being that strict. I'll be in all honesty, I don't. I'll accept late work up to like a day or two after it's due, but I deduct points drastically. I drop from like a 70 and then to a 50 if it's like each day it's late. But it's totally up to you, but I would just highly recommend, you have structure, you have rigor there, firm policy in place. I really don't want to see everyone kind of continuing on in what we were doing, particularly in the COVID years, where we're just accepting work all quarter. But ultimately, it is your class, and I'm giving you autonomy in how you go about teaching it, because you're all amazing teachers, and it's, like I said, it's your policies at the end of the day, but this is what I would encourage everyone to do. The other big thing is, now that, we're in semester 2, and that, the kids we have are the kids we're going to have for the remainder of the year, we are getting close to the testing season. And there's a policy that we've kind of enacted before, if you want to think of it as gatekeeping. Ultimately, we really don't want kids taking the exams if there's no chance that they're going to be successful. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but there's kids in your class, I'm sure pretty much all of us, that A, they're not showing up. B, they've literally been failing all year. C, they may have been misplaced by guidance, and unfortunately we weren't able to transfer them out of the class at the end of the semester. Things of that nature. And I'm going to ask that everyone actually gives me a list. I will say, fine print, it should be a minority of students. And also, it's a lot harder to make a case that the student not take the exam if they've been doing quite well in your class. But what I plan to do is actually do like a robocall, mass call, email, and message to all the parents of those students that we don't think they're test. And basically, they're not being kicked out of the class. And other than that, though, we don't want to take the test. And to give a short anecdote on that, we had a student last year who was in 5 ACE classes. I did not know he was in 5 ACE classes because I wasn't involved I didn't put him in it, and he wasn't involved in the approval policy of that. And he literally failed all 5. And we're paying for those exams. It's coming out of, our budget for the program. And ultimately, I don't want to see that happen. And if there's students that, just really have, based on all the evidence, and I would say that there needs to be evidence of it. You can't just be like, this student kind of rubs me the wrong way and they don't seem to take class very seriously. I would say probably one of the best indicators might have been the midterm, how they did on the midterm exam. If you've done practice tests in class, that too. And, I'm not going to ask for the evidence, but if we ever were asked, you should be able to provide some evidence. Essentially what I'm going to do is once you give me that list, I'm going to compile all of it and I'm going to reach out to those parents and basically be like, as per myself and, the teacher's recommendation that we are going to recommend that the student doesn't take the exam, and then give the parents, like a few days or like a week to, ask questions, or if they have an issue with that, talk it over and that kind of thing. So biggest thing is, be thinking about that list. I would really, really like everything in the next week or so, and this video is already way too long, so I'm going to cut it off. I hope you all have a great week and great, even better weekend, and enjoying all the lovely weather. And if you need anything, please reach out.